Hi folks, Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in to this video lesson. I'll be talking about things we said today as recorded by the Beatles on June 2nd, 1964. Now in May of 64, Brian gave the Beatles a month off because they had been working like a dog. So Paul took his girlfriend Jane Asher, rented a boat in the Virgin Islands along with Ringo and his wife Maureen, and they set off for some fun in the sun. While there, Paul needed to write some more songs for the second side of the Hard Day's Night album, went below deck and started to write Things We Said Today, finished it above deck, and had a nice introspective song about his relationship with Jane Asher. So fast forward to June 2nd, now they're in EMI Studio 2. It only took an hour and a half to record Things We Said Today. 3 takes, they got it right on the 3rd take. With George on electric guitar, John on acoustic, and Paul on bass, Ringo on drums. Did it live, then they overdubbed Paul's lead vocal and tried a few other things. They were in the studio again on the next day, June 3rd. Paul double-tracked his lead vocal and did some harmony in parts. Ringo overdubbed a tambourine, and John put a piano part on it. They ended up not using that piano part, but if you listen to the stereo mix of Things We Said Today, you can hear a little bit of that piano ghosting in there because when they were doing overdubs, they apparently didn't give the piano its own track, so it leaked onto one of the overdub tracks. But again, I won't be using it because the Beatles found it unnecessary, so I find it unnecessary. The song was mixed on June 9th. It's not a bad mix. You can actually hear all the parts for a change, and you could almost actually hear Ringo's bass drum, which is quite unusual for early Beatles recordings. There's a few unusual things about the song. The first verse has 17 measures. Back in the early days, so much of the Beatles songs were multiples of 4, 8, 16. But this, again, first verse has 17 bars. It also switches from A minor to the key of A major for the bridge. And the rhythm of the lyrics of the bridge are unique for an early Beatles song in that, it's very offbeat. It's like, for me, I'm just the da da da. It's all on the upbeat, when so much of the early Beatles song was, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very downbeat driven. But, this upbeat rhythm of the bridge gives it a different urgency. Okay, let's see. They played it live from August to September of 64 on their U.S. and Canada tour. And George sang the harmony parts, which was unusual for a live thing, but happened once in a while. They also recorded it 2 other times for BBC radio programs. Things We Said Today ended up being the B-side of the Hard Day's Night single in the UK, and of course it's on the Hard Day's Night UK album, which I consider to be the correct Hard Day's Night album. The first time we would have heard it in America was in July of 64 on an album called Something New by the Beatles on Capitol Records. So it's a fun song. It's easy to play, but it's full of Beatle coolness, especially John's rhythm, which drives it, and George's just tasty fills and nuances. So I think that's the backstory. Let's get started. John Lennon is using his Gibson J160E on Things We Said Today. I need to change the strings on my Gibson for the sound alike, so I just grabbed this Keras SJ for the lesson. Now, to play the verse, you'll need these chords. You'll need an A minor. You'll need what I'm going to call an A add 9. You'll need an E minor. You're going to need a C, a C7, an F, and a B flat. Now at the very beginning, John just kind of pounds on the 5th string A, but he's voicing an A minor chord, so you hear a little bit of the 4th and 3rd string too, but try to get just the 5th string. And it's starts on the and of 4 before the first measure. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1. You play 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the third time you're on the first measure of the verse. Now, the first 4 bars of the verse, you could tell John didn't quite settle into what he wanted to do for the entire song, because he plays a different rhythm for those first 4 measures, and he pretty much just stays on A minor. So he plays a figure like this. If I do it real slow, going into the first verse, it would be. So the accents are on the end of 3 and the end of 4. It's like 1, 2. Now, that chord that I'm calling A add 9 is really, I should say, he's picking up his first finger of the A minor before he gets to the E minor, and it kind of sounds that. So now on measure 5 of the verse, he settles into what he intended to play, I believe, and it's pretty much. See, it picks it up. So on the end of 2, pick up that first finger. So you go, and then the E minor accenting. So if I did the first verse very slow, it would be. But of course, up to tempo, you don't really catch it like that. It sounds more like a. Right, so that's what's happening. It's kind of, your typical John Lennon ghosting thing where he's actually picking up a finger. All right, now when he gets to the C, it's pretty much quarter note followed by eighth notes. So on the C. And note that John always kind of on beat 1, kind of arpeggios through it. Just a quicker, a slightly more, what would be the word? Forceful first beat. So not quite a little more. Just give the downbeat a little more power, and then back to the regular figure. Now at the end of this, on the 16th measure, he plays a. And he doesn't do it twice this time. He goes. All right, a little kind of probably meant to go, but he didn't. Now on verse 2, he varies. He plays a little variant of the same thing. Instead of going between A minor and E minor each measure, he stays on A minor every other measure. So he plays like this. He goes. I'll do it very slow. He goes. Right? So up to speed. And back to the C. And then going into the bridge, he plays A major. Right? So for that bridge, you need an A, you need a D, a B7, an E7, again with the A, D, B7, and a B flat. Oops. And that's pretty much straight, just John Lennon plodding along again, usually a chord note followed by eighth notes. So it's like, but very powerful, and finishing off. Okay, I won't go through every measure. Charts and tabs are available at MikePachelli.com if you want to get it perfectly. But just on the fade, he goes back to the intro and just plays that powerful and a one, you know. And that's how he fades out. Very cool parts, very easy, but you know, very, very driving the band, and I think necessary to have under your trick belt. So I hope you get it right. And those are the parts you need to play Things We Said Today, just like John Lennon. George Harrison plays his 1963 Gretsch Tennessean on Things We Said Today. I've got this country classic plugged into my 1963 Vox AC30. So you'll need these chords. Just on the intro, he plays this A minor 7th to a regular A minor. You'll also need this E minor. And you'll need a C, a C9, an F, and a B flat. Now for the first 10 measures, George basically plays on beat 2 and the end of 3. So while John is going, George goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. For the first 2 measures. Then on the verse, just on beat 2 and the end of 3 again. So it's 2 A minors. It's like, A minor to E minor. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. That's it for 8 measures. You know, so up tempo it sounds like, you know, 1. Okay, and then on the 8th measures, for the C, he just arpeggios through it. C9, the F, B flat. Just, you know, beautiful ringing whole notes. Back to that same phrase. 1. Just kind of arpeggiates that little A minor. All right. Now on the second verse, he plays, you know, he holds on the A minor just like John does. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. Repeats 1, 1. 1. Back to the C. It's beautiful whole notes. Such restraint for a young player. Again. Those A minors come on beat 1. And then he plays a major. All right. Now for the bridge, you'll need an A. You'll need this D. You'll need a B up here. And this E7. Again with the A, D, B, to B flat. So on the bridge, he plays this. I'll do it slow. So it's 2, 3, 4. Charts and tab at MikePachelli.com if you want to know exactly what's happening. And you know, George plays a little, that's the main figures, but he's playing loose. So it has a little more feel in there than that. Something like, let's see. back to the figure on beat 2 and end of 3. And now this time he plays a real soft A minor, like just the top strings and back to and he plays a little figure this time. 1, 2, back to very light on the A minor and on 1. Okay, a little different chords this time around for the C, just up to the B string, C like this. Then C7. He plays this F to his B flat. Back to big A. Going into the bridge again. And the only difference is on the very ending when John is just pounding, George is playing this open A minor, you know. Something like that for the fade. He also uses that A minor on the very last verse of the 8th measure of the very last verse. I think it is. Watch my sound alike and you'll see exactly, or download the charts and tabs. Okay, those are all the parts to play just like George Harrison. So I'm going to put it all together in a sound alike so you can play along with me and you'll get it just like the Beatles. So let's check it out.
You say you will love me if I have to go. You'll be thinking of me. Somehow I will know. Someday wishing you were so far away, then I will remember things we said today. You say you'll be mine, girl, till the end of time. These days such a kind girl seems so hard to find. Someday when we're dreaming deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Me, I'm just the lucky kind. Love to hear you say that love is love. And though we may be blind, love is here to stay, and that's enough to make you mine, girl. Be the only one. Love me all the time, girl. We'll go on and on. Someday when we're dreaming, deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today. Me, I'm just the lucky kind. Love to hear you say that love is love. And though we may be blind, love is here to stay, and that's enough to make you mine, girl. Be the only one. Love me all the time, girl. We'll go on and on. Someday when we're dreaming, deep in love, not a lot to say, then we will remember things we said today.
I certainly hope you enjoyed that. Like I always say, learn the parts and then play along with my sound alike and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And remember, have fun doing it because that's what playing the guitar should be all about, especially when you play these great old Beatles songs. If you'd like to download the charts and tabs or drop me a line, you could do so at MikePachelli.com. So until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli, and thanks for hanging out with me.